Well, I remember at one time saying I'd never run for office, so never say never. But it was just getting involved in the community and wanting to make a difference for my community, mostly because of my son, whether it was at the school or Brookdale Pool, keeping that open. And then it just kind of gradually morphed into maybe if I run for office, I'm able to do more, and I did.
In 2010, she was elected to represent Ward 2 in Oakville. Then, in 2015, federal Liberal candidate Max Kahn died suddenly.
I was approached about running federally, and like so many women, I didn't say yes right away. And then it was actually Kevin Flynn who said to me, well, why wouldn't you do it? And I remember thinking, yeah, why wouldn't I do it?
Damoff was elected as the first Member of Parliament for the newly formed riding of Oakville North, Burlington. Last week, she officially announced she will no longer be seeking re-election, begging the question, why now?
I wanted to give the party time to find another candidate for the next election, which is, likely a year and a half away. And also, I think people need to know what it's become like for politicians, particularly women in politics, and to maybe give some thought to how we're treating each other, and hopefully by the next election's called, we've been able to recognize a problem and work towards fixing it. There was an article that was done in 2018 about how women are bullied in politics. That's gotten a lot worse. And it's transferred into the public now, into the public sphere, not just online, not just by email, but also threats. And there's times when I'm constantly watching my back when I'm out in public, which I never used to do. Or if someone starts approaching me, I'll sort of turn and rush to the car as quickly as I can, whereas in the past I quite enjoyed running into people in a park, or and so it does take a toll on your mental health.
And the increased levels of aggression found in the public have pervaded the House of Commons.
And we've seen social media being the driver for discussion instead of trying to collaborate. It's all about gotcha moments, trying to get a social media clip. And we on Tuesday this week, when all the Conservatives walked out of the House, it was disgusting. But what bothered me just as much was that many of them were out in the foyer doing their Facebook Lives and getting it posted on social media. And then, of course, when that happens, whatever they say transfers into the social media comments that I get. The emails that I get. And at one point, one of my staffers created a subfolder in my inbox called misogyny, because there were hundreds and hundreds of emails that were horrible. So it's driving it, what's happening in Parliament. And I know that there's a number of MPs, even since I spoke up, who've come up to me to tell me their stories. And it's not unique to me, and I don't get it as badly as some MPs do, and I certainly don't get it as badly as the Prime Minister does. And I do worry that someone is going to physically be attacked. I mean, we've all been given now panic buttons that we can take when we're out in public. Some MPs have had protests at their homes. They've had their windows at their homes smashed. There's some really serious consequences for the behavior that happens in Parliament. And, the Speaker of the House of Commons is the one that's the arbiter of rules when we're in the House, and he's being disrespected, and his rulings are being disrespected. And, at least have respect for the institution of Parliament. It's fundamental to our democracy.
After 8.5 years in federal politics, she shares what she's most proud of.
$150 million for the Marathon of Hope Cancer Centers. It was something I did as an MP, and I've said this before, people say MPs can't make a difference. And, I wasn't in cabinet, I wasn't a parliamentary secretary, I was just determined to work with the Terry Fox folks, so that's definitely one. Kira's Law would be another one, in honor of Kira Kagan, who was killed at Rattlesnake Point by her father. And that will educate judges and about domestic violence, coercive control. I'll miss the people that I've gotten to know. Not that I won't stay in touch with people, but it's always different, right? And definitely the people, and I can still be a rabble-rouser when it comes to issues that I care about. But yeah, I think the people is what I'm going to miss more than anything.
For Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.